Greetings and welcome to Aftershow 35 for our People's Ascension Dungeons and Dragons game. We just had a very fun dungeon crawl. We don't usually have a lot of dungeon crawls, so it's nice to get back to a dungeon crawl.
And not to me that are that fun either. Like
Yeah,
you're right, that was
yeah.
a fun one.
This was a fun dungeon crawl. I like this. I will be the first to admit that I am not a dungeon crawl DM. So I don't tend to think in terms of dungeon crawls, which is why they don't come up as much.
Well, and this one wasn't a combat, like, this wasn't us just going
Right.
from room to room beating stuff up. It was going from room to room trying to figure out the puzzle or the
Yeah.
trap. And
Yeah.
stuff.
And we actually did really good with these puzzles.
You guys did do really good on these puzzles. I
Especially
threw a lot
compared
of
to the altar.
I threw a lot of really simple idiot traps in here. I'm like, these guys are going to trigger at least one of these, and you really didn't.
Technically, we
You guys
did trigger.
good.
Well, we triggered one on purpose.
On
Yeah.
purpose, yeah. I really like that solution for the rope in the room, because I was at first when I was designing that room, because I drew out the dungeon before I necessarily had an idea of what was going to go in each room. I'm like, what am I going to do with this room? What is the point of this room? I could put a trap in here. I'm just going to hang a rope from the ceiling. They'll do something
that's how
with
much
it.
he respects us. He's gonna hang a rope and he's hitting it to pull it.
Yeah, well, it's like if Andrew hadn't pulled it, Aquila was going to, but I was going to do something somewhat similar where I was going to grab the rope and step off to the side a bit to try and avoid what was clearly going to fall on top.
But you were relegated to the floor, and you wouldn't have been able to get far enough away.
No, no.
Yeah, because Andrew was able to stick to the ceiling. That's
It was
what got him.
perfectly horizontal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
I don't
a
disagree
great
that it was
creative
better.
thinking. Working through
would
that
have
trap.
like braced herself, like feet on the ceiling and pulled down.
That would have been so bad.
Yes, would have been awful.
And I will say, even better than that was I really enjoyed the solution we came up with for the wacky
for the pillar
spinny.
Yeah.
Because that was really a really good like group kind of like it came together because everyone kind of had a modification and suggestion that I think what made it work. Like we came up with an idea and everyone was like, well, let's do this, and then someone would add something, and that's what made it work well.
Yeah.
That was good.
Though I'm glad that I just decided it's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna lift the door.
Not to mention those rolls on those knots.
I know,
Yeah.
they're amazing.
That worked really well.
But no, that was an ingenious way to stop up that mechanism. That was a great job. I like.
I'm glad it worked, because at first I had the idea and I'm like, this is stupid. This is a dumb idea.
Well,
it's not gonna work. But I was
because at first you were wanting Aquila to hold it, and I'm like, that's not gonna work.
Nope.
If
Aquila held onto it, you would have just slammed super hard into the wall when it whipped around.
Oh, I know. It's like it was not going to end well if I tried that, but it's like we have a fucking metal door behind us.
Yeah.
Like I said, the initial thought was a dumb idea, but I'm glad I put it out there because it did build into a good idea.
Nice.
No, yeah.
I'm thinking of the windmill song from Legend of Zelda when we were in that room the entire time.
Yeah, a lot of this dungeon was designed without too much context when it came to water breathing. I knew you guys had sources of water breathing, but I didn't realize how abundant those sources of water breathing were, and how long-lasting they were. But I actually do like it more that you guys were able to take your time and work through these things, rather than just having to rush through, be super stressed out and hectic, and really just brute force your way through all of these problems, because that's what I expected.
I do like that it was
but,
that it was full of water, because we could use like the whole 3D space to get
that was really nice too.
Instead of being stuck to the floor, you know.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like if we had to rush against a breath timer, it would have been way more frustrating than fun. I'm sure we would have taken a lot more. We probably would have gotten through it faster, honestly, because we would have just like tried to. Fine, we'll just take the hit and go. And so having the time due to water breathing, and then yes, but still having a fully submerged place where you could think in 3 dimensions, really made the puzzles like actually made the puzzles engaging. Whereas before we probably would have tried to just, you know what, fine, we're not engaging with this. We'll just push through it.
Yeah.
Made us think about it more. Was like what made it fun. Yeah.
Yeah. You probably would have taken more damage and expended more resources. Going through a rushed breath time or skill challenge sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was more fun this way. And at the end of the day, I'd rather have a fun dungeon than necessarily a hard dungeon.
I think it made up for. I think the amount of fun it was to solve them made up for the lack of drama that. Like, I understand that if it had just been like
tension,
get from here to here without the water breathing would have been boring.
There still.
But the lack of tension from water breathing was more than compensated for by just the fun we had getting through all the puzzles.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was clear that this was fun, and as I told Steven, it's like I felt bad that Stephanie basically missed out on most of that, but I loved the mileage we got out of thinking she was dead.
That was narrative gold. I felt bad that that Stephanie, you were kind of out of the game. You were luggage for quite a bit there, but it was narrative gold. Those 2 nat 1s. Sevgi's dead. Oh God, Sevgi's dead. We gotta bring her back.
Basically,
I can't use a spell slot.
She's got playing signals. Yeah, she does.
And then Anders here like.
And I also love that it's basically, Andrew just finished calming Tolly down.
Yeah.
And then Akila and Shliva come, and it's like, oh my God, Sevgi's dead.
And y'all, like, I was setting that up because I had the comic moment in my head of like, it's okay, Tolly. See, they're coming right now. It's all fine. And y'all did perfect. I was like, come on. I set you up.
I know. That's the thing. I saw it. It's like it was perfect setup. I had to deliver on that.
Oh, and you delivered beautifully. I was so happy with that. Like, never mind.
Yeah, that was great. And I will be honest, for Patreons more than for you guys, because this might spoil some of the magic behind the screen here. But that madness effect was completely improv. That was not planned.
I was just stopping in that room.
Yeah, I did. Because I never, like I said, I never fully put together how many water breathing resources you had and how little problem this being a flooded area would be. I didn't consider that you could or even would stop to take a rest underwater. I specifically had the fountain designed as a safe room, both in the dungeon itself and, for you guys to rest up after the gauntlet that you were going to run through here. But when you rested, I'm like, this place really shouldn't be safe. There's not creatures down here, but this is an enchantress's lair that likes mind effects. So yeah, we're going to roll on the madness table. And I think the dice delivered, because that was all narrative gold. It was great.
I was so happy to pass that save.
And specifically, Arlene, applause on playing up that fear effect. That was great. All the way through to the fountain chamber. Great. All of those little comments. That was great.
I like Andrew trying to play psychologist.
Yeah.
I also loved Stephanie at the end being like, "I wasn't dead, guys."
That was just complete deadpan.
I like how she
guys,
was
I wasn't
quiet
dead.
about the entire time until the very end.
Telling them
I wasn't dead.
But the deadpan was just perfect on it.
And just fuck this. Like I said, I was trying to let you say just you can't take a short rest underwater because I would totally have gotten that. But at the same time, like I didn't know that there were no fights ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And Andrew was at 24 hit points and no spells.
Yeah, that is very true. You guys were tapped.
So I needed one.
Yeah. Or I
was like, well, if he's not going to stop me, I'm going to take one.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because it didn't seem like he was talking, so it's like, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't necessarily super need one because I'd only transformed one and I'd only lost 10 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I'm like,
and some of those hit points came from. I was like, and most of the hit points I lost came from my own abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
completely.
lost a good chunk of hit points, and also I got my channel divinity back from the short rest, so I'm glad we did that.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was from getting punched in the face by a giant golem.
Twice,
You took
right?
like a champ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took 2.
Well,
That's
technically
right.
3 times because one got 2 hits and one got one through
No,
one
one hit Sevgi
One hit
instead of me.
Sevgi. Because
But I think I took 2.
Ander could not have survived 3 hits from that goal.
No.
Well,
I took 1, then I got healed a little bit, then I took another one.
Wallop, yeah. Because they were they were doing more than 30 damage.
Yeah, they were just barely not triggering injury rules.
Yeah. No, I can't scroll up
Just
that far.
barely.
Yeah.
Like I think I came within like 2 or 3 hit points of triggering injury rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I was trying to get that one to attack me, but it only had eyes for Tali.
After that turn effect, ghosts don't like being turned, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I still
They
did
will
get it to
haunt
take a
your
swing
ass
at me.
until you're gone. Until you're one of them.
Well, that sounds like it
Good
would be
job.
awkward.
Buddy for life.
Yep.
You get dead. You're dead, and suddenly it's the ghost assholes that killed you.
And you can just bicker for eternity.
Yep.
Where the fuck you? I'm not doing your haunting shit.
I think it is kind of like I did like when I was we were underwater. I was imagining everyone's hair just like floating around
What
around
hair?
their head. Well, not Akila's.
I know.
But
I know. It was just.
Yeah, definitely the potential for a lot of very cinematic moments.
Mm-hmm.
That I do encourage you guys as players, and especially you guys as viewers, to imagine in your theater of your mind theater, your mind palace. Because I feel like I spend a lot of time just on descriptive text, and I could do a lot more, but I feel like that would bog things down so much. So I encourage you guys as players and you guys as viewers to just really immerse yourself into the environments that I create, because I'm probably not going to spend the time to point out cool effects like everyone's hair is flowing in the current as you move along.
The mermaid.
But a lot of really cool visual effects with a lot of the things that happened here.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking too, like when Tali got feared, if that portcullis wasn't there, she would have just kept going.
Oh yeah, Yep.
It was already spinning. She would have taken some hits.
Yeah.
You would have gotten blended up real well.
I do like that blender. It was very creative.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Cool.
I was like concerned. I was like, at first I was like, oh shoot, it's a whirl.
I was waiting for yeah, me too.
Okay.
I was waiting.
Yeah,
like, oh god, we're gonna get sucked in.
I was ready to use control water to counter it and go the opposite way.
Yeah, you see, I because I'm so much more a sci-fi oriented person than a fantasy person, I think about engineering more than I think about using magical elements.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could have just put a magical whirlpool in there, but it just no. This is going to be solid mechanical.
I was kind of thinking the same way. Was like, okay, how can I bust the gear? Because like this is obviously something that has some complex mechanics to make it work. Which means if I could think of a way to break the mechanics, Jack would probably allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he let me take that door apart in the other tomb we've been in.
Which we kind of they did sort of try and break the mechanics, just not my original idea.
Yeah.
I really wanted to jam some gears somehow. For some reason, I was on that today. It's like,
it was a a good idea, and just didn't fit with the.
Yeah,
how it was built.
No, it made sense once I kind of got a better image.
Yeah. Even with maps, it's hard to get everybody in the same complete mental image. I try to be as descriptive as I can, but.
So, out of curiosity, what were other ways you had considered for us to get out of that room with the
blender?
No, not that one, with the pipe.
The fountain chamber. Yeah. I mean, I was leaving that up mostly to you guys. You could have just brute forced your way out. The central pillar in the hollowed out pillar in the first room led right up to the fountain, so you really could just have busted through that. and just climbed your way out. You could have just destroyed the fountain and climbed your way out.
Yeah.
You could have... Because I tend not to design challenges around what you guys have. I'd rather design challenges that I think have feasible solutions, and then have you guys apply your abilities and spells and whatnot in other ways. But I figured there might be some way for enough people to squeeze through the tunnel up top. I should have made it a little bit larger so that medium-sized creatures could fit through there with a lot of difficulty, maybe some checks, maybe having to widen it a little bit. Or a series of polymorph spells and whatnot. Because this concept was created before I knew that Shliva used both of her polymorph spells. So I figured... I figured enough of you could have gotten through to the other chamber and then managed your way to get up to the drain, that if not everybody could get out that way, you could then either destroy or move the fountain and get the rest of the people up from the center.
We did it the less destructive way.
Yeah, you definitely did.
It's only slightly destructive.
I said less destructive.
Eugene, I'm curious to see, Jack, did you or anyone else notice the very conscious choice I was making during the rednet exploration? So I slipped up one time. Yeah, okay.
Not putting having him. Well, no, never mind.
I was trying very specifically to refer to us as we.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Trying to very much reflect the mind meld.
I did, but I didn't.
Yeah, actually, I think
that much of it because it just made sense.
Yeah.
I caught it. I was like, oh, cute. There we know.
I was very specifically trying to, unfortunately, crib from Venom, but trying to. But that's kind of what I think of. Like, that is sort of the ideal end goal for me and Redna, is a very kind of Venom-esque symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, give it some levels. We're working on it.
I mean, especially with the current state of Venom, where they are friends, kind of working together. So, like, I kind of view me and Redna as a symbiotic relationship. So it was trying very specifically to refer to us as we.
That was a good touch.
Yeah, but I really like this fountain reservoir idea, because originally it was just going to be a well. It was just going to be a well, and you had to swim up the well. And over time, the water would have evaporated to the point where it didn't go all the way to the top, so you would have to swim up into the well and have to climb your way up, and that was boring. And I figured I was introducing new water from the broken reservoirs all the way up at the top of the cistern. That caused it to flood more. That was enough water to replenish the amount of water that evaporated and start the fountain up again. Because in a sealed environment, water doesn't evaporate that much.
Makes sense.
So
it'll just like condensate and then drip back down.
Like I said, it does eventually
especially
sort of
underground.
seep out through stone. Yeah, it does eventually sort of seep out.
Yeah.
Over time, but again, 2,000 years. Yeah, that's not.
Time.
Well, yeah. Because that's the thing. Stone is porous, so it's not going to be 100% efficient at containing it.
Yeah.
You basically need a silicone container.
But the fountain isn't, at like full pressure, but it is still working from that reintroduction of water from the hidden water reservoirs from the flood chamber.
Well, and I think my dinner's here.
Fun.
I'm back to
the loop was kind of a cool idea, yeah.
Yeah, I had the idea for a fountain. I knew generally enough how water physics work, but I did have to spend some time researching ancient fountains to get the circuit correct and have it not eventually all wind up in one reservoir.
So that really would work, just having Like just from pressure?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Or at least for a very long time. I don't know if it's an actual perpetual motion machine, and if it is, it couldn't really be done in high enough scale that it would actually produce limitless energy. But it works for a long time at the very least.
Huh.
But this is an ancient technique going all the way back to ancient Greece. So this is
Huh.
right on point for
I guess it makes sense,
historical
'cause,
grounding.
Ancient, I mean, like, I know ancient cities had fountains, but at the same time, they don't have, like, pumps or anything to...
And it was all hydro pressure systems.
Interesting. Cool.
I believe invented
learned
by the
something
same
new.
guy that made the initial steam generators, Herod, or Hero of Alexandria. I believe.
Learned 2 new things today.
What are we talking about?
Ancient
Ancient
physics and
fountains.
mechanics.
Yeah.
I knew.
So I figured the fountain reservoir room was definitely going to be the most challenging, the most difficult. But even if you were under the time crunch of trying to breathe, there was air there, so you had time to
in
to
both
deal
sides.
with that. Yeah. Yeah, and from there we got into the fountain room, and that was where I don't want to use the word intended, but expected you guys to take your rest. And you actually did take a rest. I managed to get 2 rests out of you. Not that there's really a time crunch for you guys at this point. I will say this dungeon would be drastically different if you went the original planned way and not down through underneath the altar and through the cistern and whatnot. If you went further through the desert and actually went through the front door of this tomb, drastically different dungeon at this point.
How so?
Well, you're coming in basically in the middle of it.
Yeah, we skipped the whole intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You skipped.
I was wondering if he was going to give us any specifics.
Well, I believe
Well,
last
it's not a
after
cow,
show.
so probably not.
I believe last after show I said I more or
I mean,
less
you told us
explained
about
the altar
The
and the illusion sandstone
hallucination
effect.
part, yeah.
There was a puzzle to actually open the front door related
Mhm.
to the ancient sans alphabet.
Oh.
And then there was at least 2 rooms leading up to the temple room that you guys just breached into.
Were those the ones from the south?
It's off on a...
I just meant because
I
in
don't
the
know.
room that we entered into in the end, there was the door that we came in through on the west, and then there was one on the south and one on the north.
Yeah, the one on the more southern end. Yeah.
Okay.
Where dead people are next to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am glad I mentioned that to take that rest though in that room, because it was like, I feel like we're gonna probably have to deal with some shit in this next room, and I'd like to be fully loaded.
Yeah, fair.
I had
mean,
fun with
granted
the design of the fountain chamber as well. Once I got past the whole "it's just a well" thing, I was looking up ancient ruins and imagining what they looked like, and I saw some concept art pieces.
Mhm.
And actually, my mental image of the fountain chamber is actually from a modern day office complex or something with this really fancy 3-tiered infinity pool
Mhm.
thing. So
Ooh.
I used something like that, but it was intended to be a safe room that you guys could rest in, and there's going to be nuances that you guys might pick up as you explore further through the dungeon. But again, you're missing half of it, so half of the information. But it was designed specifically to be a safe room for you guys, and not just for you guys, but anybody who made it in there. And obviously, the Cult of Worms has been here.
Didn't work out too well for that one dude.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Nor the 3 other dudes, or 2 other dudes and dudette in the temple room.
Yeah, well, that wasn't the safe room. The
That
one
was
guy
not-
made it
yeah.
to the safe room
Yeah.
and it didn't work.
No, he could not shake the effect. Yeah, so I was like, I
Mommy
put that
rock
dead guy
bitch.
in there, and I was like, okay, I can get them some information, because you guys are all about speaking with dead. Nope, Crunch gone. Awesome.
I'll be honest, I
It's
was
great.
not super thrilled with that.
I love that.
Sorry.
I love when
Sorry,
characters
from the moment I
do...
saw him,
Mhm.
I had the thought in my head that, like, I want to destroy what's left
Yeah.
of him.
I love fully character engrossing decisions. Just not thinking logically, not thinking mechanically, not thinking what is going to be best going forward. Just my character hates this group. I'm going to crush their remains. I love
That
it.
was
And
Anders.
that's like Star-Lord in frickin' Infinity War.
God,
Wasn't
yeah.
No,
That
that made me mad.
because I'll tell you exactly what that was. That was we haven't really directly interacted with the cult since we left. Since we got into Songket,
Mhm.
really.
Yeah, which hasn't
Um,
actually been that long.
No, but well, it's been a little while.
Yeah, part of it was traveling over the sea.
Yeah.
Right. But so it was we got up there, Anders saw the cult, immediately would have thought back to Omen and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And
Oh,
just
yeah,
was
true.
like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck them all, but fuck this guy in particular right now because he's in front of me.
I'll be honest, on some level, everything still feels a little bit distant to Aquila.
Fair. But yeah,
Which has honestly put her in a somewhat better headspace.
well, good. You can
Good.
be the voice of reason
her.
going forward because Anders ready to
Oh boy.
murder some fuckers.
Oh, well, I mean, it'll probably go out the window once she's actually confronted by some of this stuff again, but
Mhm.
for now,
'Cause
it
I had-
feels much more distant.
Because honestly, if we're being realistic, I imagine the farther in we go, the more of them he sees, the more it's going to bring stuff back. And he hasn't really never really got the opportunity to work through that too much.
Yeah.
As far as who's responsible. So he's going to be working through some revenge issues.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Continue with that, definitely.
Because Andrew hasn't really had too many rage moments, so let's see what an angry warlock can do other than get himself killed. Probably just get himself killed.
I feel like everybody gets to rage every once in a while.
Yeah. It's not just
We don't
for
have-
barbarians.
I was gonna say, we don't have barbarians.
So one of
Yeah.
us has to do it.
I was gonna say, so
That
we
will
have
be
to put
Ender.
rage somewhere.
I feel like Anders is constantly stressed, so he needs some raging.
I mean, other than Sevgi with the whole emotional
Oh,
magic
yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
I mean, Anders probably got the most shit just kind of under the surface that he tries to hold down. Between the length of time now that he's been the shit he's seen over doing this, and then the constant just kind of forces working on him. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff just under the surface, like, keep it down, keep it down.
Well, see, I try to give you some release with all of these sexy women I try to throw at you, but you keep turning them down.
Hey, I'm working on one of them. That sounds weird. I don't like that. Nope.
Yeah, but that one is also
I
going to
mean,
cause some
anytime
issues.
you want, you just gotta make a prayer to your favorite succubus demon goddess creature person.
Yeah, look. Yeah, I think we've established Andrew's not that kind of guy. High
Let's be honest,
charisma does not necessarily make me a horny bard.
Yep, and I appreciate that.
we all do.
Andrew's much more Andrew's more rational and doesn't trust most people enough to just start sleeping around.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Aquila's had more sex than Andrew has.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because like I said, he don't trust people. And he finally was willing to think about a relationship with someone he has now been through shit with and can trust.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that will probably cause issues at some point. I
Almost
fully
certainly.
expect that not to be a happy ending for anybody involved.
Yeah, you
I'd
are a highly
I would
illegal,
love
really
for it to be.
strange. Yeah.
I would love for it to be a happy ending, but
Well,
considering the career
see.
path,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
we almost already had a unhappy ending at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That didn't even hardly get started before it was challenged.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can call it started. I don't think there's an official relationship there yet, but
I mean, at least you didn't latch on to Lorene. Because
was
if
not
anyone's
gonna
going to be the
happen.
problem, it's going to be Lorene.
no.
I mean, that wasn't going to happen as soon as he
Lorene,
knew
frankly,
that she
kind of
was there.
annoys him isn't the right word because he can respect the scholarly interest, but takes it too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she's too scholarly,
Yeah.
and he is trying very hard to hold on
She's
to some
very-
degree of humanity.
Yeah, she has a sort of very clinical way of looking at things.
Mhm.
Right, and for someone who is trying very hard to be a good person,
Mhm.
that is just frustrating.
And
I feel like,
Lorene is 100% on the Arcane Census bandwagon.
Yeah.
Oh well, yes,
Yeah.
I get the feeling that he's trying to kind of convince her that, like, hey, I'm not bad, but I definitely picked up that she was kind of shaken by the fact that we weren't just killing me right now. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like,
Well, I mean,
Lutef
you
is
know,
the
Adderhouse isn't going to kill him, but there are other groups of blood hunters.
yeah. Well, I meant more from a perspective of, like, in Lorene's world order,
Mm-hmm.
Ander bad. Ander
Yeah.
needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that it didn't just immediately happen, I feel like kind of messed with her a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to show, and I feel like I made a little bit of progress last time. Like,
Yeah.
but I feel like Luteth is much more a good combination of scholarly and also being a person with emotions.
Yeah.
A pretty elf girl.
Yep.
That is not the primary subject of
No.
it, but she is a scholar, but also obviously is in touch with her party members and her
She's
friends.
a scholar and a
yeah,
gentlewoman.
Yep.
Sure. Where
Thanks, lady.
Lorene is just way too analytical.
I am
Like, no.
curious about one thing with Adderhast. So if Aquila just it just gets killed in this, is Adderhast going to hunt Ander down?
We'll burn
Find
that
out.
bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
I feel like it depends on how.
It depends on
but-
how Aquila goes down, yeah. And Adderhast, in the organization, probably has plenty of resources to be able to divine what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's at least a 50% chance that if Aquila goes down, Ander's probably not far behind.
That is a good point.
I mean, there was a decent chance that if Polly went down, Ander was probably going to go down trying to prevent it. So, same goes for Aquila.
Hmm.
The only reason I didn't end up doing something stupid was because it would have taken Sevki down with me too, and there was math involved. If it comes down to doing something stupid and it only cost my life, he might.
Yeah, we've seen it before.
The complex only gets worse as time goes on.
Yeah.
The
I
risk
like
of
it.
stupid decisions gets higher.
I like it. Hero syndrome. Yeah.
I don't think he wants to be a hero. He just doesn't want to see his friends die
Sure.
because he's seen a number of them die.
Yeah.
Okay. Aquila would fully not expect to be saved.
Yeah, it's less about because I would say he explicitly does not really want to be a full-on hero because that comes with notoriety. Like, he's not going out for glory. It's more just developing a weird self-sacrificial kind of thing that he did not have to start with.
Yeah.
Didn't know he had, but apparently it's decently strong.
And just needed to find a group to care about. The adventurers, the friends we made along the way, and then died for.
Well, not even necessarily. I guess more a
Then
cause,
killed.
because I mean, the first time it came out was jumping in front of the damn sword to save I can't think of his name
The
now.
Votus,
Yes.
Votus, something.
Votus.
Nope.
It
Too
starts
long
with an
ago.
S.
Votus Sedaris? No.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
that
Votus
was it.
Sedaris.
Yes.
I knew it started with an
Yes.
S. I wanted to say like Sedvis, but that wasn't quite right. Because that was where Ander first displayed
Mhm.
"I will die for the cause,"
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
which he was just as surprised as everyone else.
Mhm. But that's drawing us quite away from
Sorry,
from
yes.
where we are here.
Way back.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, not
Like,
the tangent
no,
made
for-
sense. We just went as far down that tangent as I
Yeah.
think we can go.
Yeah. To the very
Fair.
beginning.
No, we can go further, but let's not.
Yeah. So, I mean that leads up all the way to the temple room where we left off with the cliffhanger there. So I know this was another instance where I threw a lot of descriptive text at you, but any initial thoughts on this temple room? It's going to require some more investigation, but
those 2 statues are coming to life. Well, coming to undeath.
Something's happening.
You're gonna be fighting those statues.
What are these piles of
Rubble?
Rubble, presumably from
Okay.
other statues. They do look like crumbled statues. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I don't expect an answer from Jack on this, but I honestly wonder if there's any chance in hell that we can talk our way out of this.
Honestly,
Unfortunately, the only person who can speak ancient sands is not great with charisma.
Yeah, because I imagine...
Doesn't mean I'm not going to try, it just means I'm not good at it.
Well, in theory, I can speak to him. I just can't necessarily understand him, probably.
Yeah, Keela can translate what he's
I don't
saying,
need to
and Andrew can project directly into his brain,
Yeah.
if anything.
But I mean, and this is all assumptions that whether or not they will bear out from our quick introduction. I'm imagining he might have been the one that took down the cult members that are laying in this room.
At least
I
partially.
assume so.
It's since, So if that is the case, there is the possibly slightest percentage chance that we are on a similar side of just trying to prevent this tomb from being defiled. I don't know.
Well,
And you guys should have a
fully-
decent amount of information on Perseces and his role in history.
Yeah.
I was about to say, it's like, again, remember that this was a cult that elevated women.
We're in charge.
Andrew is very much not a woman.
A translator.
Will that matter
am
to
a-
Perseces? We'll see.
Considering he apparently seemed to be all gung-ho for the cause.
But I am the single male in the group and trying to defend a number of women when I can. In theory,
Yeah,
I could
that
make
could
the
go well.
argument that I essentially work in a matriarchal mini society.
No, I'm not saying there aren't ways to possibly spin it.
I don't know. I'm not committed to combat yet, is essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My immediate thought when we walked in here was, I wonder if we can get out of this without fighting him.
I know, it's like, if
Because
we
he
could talk about
didn't-
this, that'd be great.
Because he didn't spawn that, but like
Technically.
Here.
he seems in a very neutral to
neutral?
defensive stance, not necessarily an aggressive. Like he didn't spawn shield up, spear up.
I was expecting
like,
that spirit to
coming
point
at
at
us.
us. And
It is a, like I said, with the spear up and like the spear pointing up and the shield up, it's kind of just almost an assessment and or defense. So like my initial read was not that we were about to immediately be attacked, so we'll see.
We will see.
do you like the I guess it's not really a plot twist, but to me it was a plot twist. I thought that statue next to the pediment was Perseces, but he just like appeared in a cloud of smoke.
I mean, it is
Or
a
not
statue
smoke,
of
but-
Perseces.
But I thought that was him. Literally Perseces, but nope, he's the sand person.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Maybe.
At the statue, it's the sand.
That was not who I was expecting to materialize when the sand started coalescing.
Who were you expecting?
I was just expecting some kind of monster or something.
I was expecting that it was either
Sand
going to be
elemental or
Perseces or Demaliba.
That was too early for Demaliba. Like I didn't feel like this was the right story-wise. It didn't seem right that this was going to be the room for her.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like I said, it was just for me, it was either one of those two.
And yeah, I expected Perseces to either be with her or I don't know. I was just waiting for some like cult summoned monster. But
Cult is dead.
I mean, they had the voted flood appear when they weren't
I
there, so
know.
maybe they can make a sand monster appear when they're not.
Yeah,
living.
possibly. Yeah.
I know how we diffuse this situation. I'm gonna walk up to him, point at the dead members and go, "Good job, bro.
High five, man.
Stab.
Well done." Yeah, and get immediately run through.
Yep.
Or
Because
you
advancing on a
can
guy with a weapon is a great idea.
maybe you can curb stomp those bodies too. Then he'll get it. He'll be like,
I didn't really
you don't
curb
like-
stomp the other one. He just kind of, I kicked him over and he fell
He
apart.
just stomped him.
I was
Yeah.
going to curb stomp him, but he did the job for me.
Essentially, what happened is just not to that extreme, but you can definitely curb stomp these guys.
I was so happy with using the staff for that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, it's like, you know what? Actually, I'm glad the foot's not working because this is better.
Yeah.
Let me use an implement of Zadok to destroy a religious
So you don't want
iconography.
dead. You don't want gross dead guy all over your shoes. Like that's just nasty.
Yeah, I want to get better at just allowing rule of cool things to happen if they're not going to drastically, change how the group is going to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a vendetta against somebody, you can take it out without, changing the scope of the adventure.
Yeah,
If you want to
'cause
just
that was-
smash something, go ahead and smash something. Yeah.
I mean,
But
there were a
honestly, I
couple
probably
of
set it
moments-
back.
Yeah, I mean, it
It's
did.
probably
There were a
Yeah.
couple moments
Yeah.
where
Not by much.
you did just let us do things. I mean, there were things that were easy enough to do, but you didn't make us roll for them that I
Yeah.
feel like in the past you would have made us roll for.
Yeah, yeah. I want to get better at not just rolling for everything, because unless there's a pressure or a clear downside, there's really no call for a roll. And there wasn't any pressure or a clear downside. It was just if it happened or it not, and it would be a lot cooler if it did happen. So do it. Is how I'd like to transition my GM mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Again, emphasizing more narrative cinematic games than necessarily mechanically rules lawyery precise games. So I think the former are more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. Because like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I realized it was a bad idea, but it was like, man, this feels good.
Yeah. I mean, you guys could have got five questions from that corpse. Could have gotten some decent information, but I love that you smashed it.
And Zadok at the end being so gung ho
Yes,
about it was icing on the cake. Like
Yes.
it felt good, and then having Zadok come in and be like, yes, it was like, yes.
I was doing that.
Maybe
I was playing Zadok, but I was looking here at my screen, looking at the audience. Then I'd look over at you, and you're just like, glop, 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 glop. And I'm like, come on, he wasn't even paying attention.
Oh no, I was. I was fully paying attention to that. That was the celebratory, like, yeah, son.
Okay.
Oh, because I don't know if
Sip and drink.
because I don't. You guess you didn't hear me when Zadok finished that. It was a very like because I smashed the idols or something. I forget exactly what you said, Neil. But Andrew's response was gladly.
Oh no, I missed that.
Oh yeah, Andrew was it was a very menacing like gladly.
Okay, cool. I don't know if that didn't go through just on my end, or
It might
the
not have
audience
picked up,
end. I
'cause
don't
it
know
was-
if it picked up. Yeah.
It was intentionally kind of under breath, like it was supposed to be under Andrew's breath.
Yeah,
So I
heard
might
you
not have
say
said it loud
something.
enough. But yeah,
wasn't
Andrew's
sure.
response to Zadok's encouragement was
Yeah, that's really cool, because I was really expecting let's we did this, let's do that, defile the idols, expose the false gods, and you were just like no, moving on.
No, that was Andrew doing like the turn from the explosion and just gladly we move forward.
All right,
No, yeah.
good to know.
The response from Zadok was icing on the cake to that moment for
Nice,
sure.
Nice.
I'm fully on.
I'm really glad I got to play out some more Zadok and some more Redna today, because it's been too long that we've had either of them, really
Do anything?
do anything. Yeah.
We had both in the same day, so
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
200% more than normal.
I kill Redna one time, and you won't let him play outside anymore.
he's got 1 HP.
It's
You gave him
it's
1
like
hit point
Marlon and Nemo.
and no stats.
Hey, I didn't design Find Familiar.
Fair.
I mean, it seems like
well,
a fair
to be- no,
reaction. It's like
Fine familiar
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have that
Time to stay
effect, but
outside.
You can always just bring him back. It's a traumatic experience for everybody involved.
yeah,
You know?
exactly.
He basically has infinite respawns.
yeah, like you said, though, traumatic experience, and Andrew treats him like, well,
I'm really glad you're
he
treating
is
him like
him.
this, because Redna would have become a drastically different entity if you were just like, go into the grinder, I'll bring it back, and dead, and dead, and dead, and dead, and dead, because that would have really... Because Redna is a fully sentient creature.
Oh, yeah.
Just throwing him off to into the meat grinder all the time would have really changed your relationship.
And not only is he fully sentient, in Andrew's mind, they are connected, or at least there's something shared there that they are not fully separate entities.
Right. But you've kind of gone the complete opposite side into Super Helicopter Mom. Just like, you're not allowed to play outside. You're staying in your room. It's a clean room now. We're putting cellophane on the windows, and you're never leaving my sight.
To be fair, that's, if you let your kid out and he gets hit by a bus, you don't make that mistake again.
You're never going outside again.
Lock the kid in the basement. No more buses for you.
I'm trying.
No more buses.
Like I said, I tried to play up today that Ander really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like they both kind of enjoyed their moment together doing something.
I like throwing out little comments too, just to emphasize how alien Redna is. Like, hey, your brains were broken, or yeah, your mind is heavy. Stuff like that.
I don't know what the mind is heavy thing, because like he was dragging Ander along with him.
And I don't know what it says about me, but that makes me so much. I find that so much more endearing and makes me so much more connected to him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I really enjoy Redna.
I think at this point, really, if Ander ends up eating it, that is going to be the thing I'm most upset about, is that I don't get Redna anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna miss him more than anything.
Yeah.
Give him to Lalir in your will.
I don't know if it works that way. Like I said, I'm also not convinced that we are completely separate entities, and that either of us can make it at this point without the other one. The way Zadok works and the fact that how he came to be makes me think that there is something shared for sure.
Yeah. Who knows with far ones?
Maybe one day I'll get to figure it out.
Yep.
If Anders very lucky and manages to survive.
I mean, hey, whenever we want to turn this into a Starfinder game, you guys just let me know. I will give you a spaceship like that.
I have thought about suggesting Spelljammer before.
Spelljammer I think is the D&D version of Starfinder, which is the Pathfinder sci-fi.
Okay. Yes, Spelljammer is D&D in space.
Yeah, I played Starfinder before. I haven't played Spelljammer before.
I was gonna say, it's like, problem is Christian might rebel at that point.
he would rebel. Yeah, he's having none of it. Unfortunate. No,
problem is, I think most of the rest of us would be willing to give it a try.
I always held it in reserve, but it was going to be a slow transition. I thought it would be cool that by like 12th, 14th level that you guys find a wrecked spaceship that you might be able to retrofit, or when you go planes hopping, you might find yourself in space or other planets or whatnot. But it's still a transition, but probably not going to happen with the feel of the group at this point. We'll see.
For what it's worth, I do try to flavor all my Zadok stuff with at least a little bit of, like I said, Venom is my big pull, but then again, Venom is also to some degree sci-fi. Like, it is a space thing that landed here.
Yeah.
And so I try to flavor all my Zadok stuff with a little bit of sci-fi when I can.
Yeah, because I'll reiterate again, this game is a sci-fi game with a fantasy facade slapped on it for you guys.
I want to know the mechanics of how certain things work.
Yeah.
My initial view for scrying was going to be, like, the image I had in my head was Redna acting like a ferrofluid kind of hologram sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's why you need the
I
special
wanted a
cup?
bowl. I need something bigger, a bowl that you can kind of raise out of.
Yeah. Yeah, that could still happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides, he clearly is going to not want to ever go back in that cup again.
it's uncomfortable.
Every time he goes in there, bad things happen.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My idea was originally like some kind of whitewood, like
We
wide
commissioned
bulb,
that at this point.
and yeah, I was gonna have him like ferro fluid up into like a representation while I was kind of meditating of whatever I was trying to find,
Yeah.
like a targeting system almost.
One of these days we'll get that commissioned.
I thought he did already commission it.
I don't think so. I asked if he
'Cause it was going
wanted
to be
to, but I think
exorbitantly expensive
it
here.
was going to be
Okay.
much more expensive, and it was going to take quite a bit of time, and
Okay.
I don't think it really worked out.
Not that my
But we'll
Rust job
see.
really worked out too well either, but
Eh. I mean, it's functional.
said-
It works.
it was a sound idea. It just
Yeah.
didn't provide.
Hmm.
Because yeah, I mean, I guess I should have anticipated that going up against someone of Divaliba's abilities, will saves were definitely going to be up there. But
Yeah.
I'm competing on a little above my weight class on that one.
Yeah. And an ancient mind manipulating sorceress probably has pretty good will saves.
Yeah.
Fair.
Impossible.
When I came up with the idea, I didn't know for sure that she was a mind manipulating sorceress.
Yeah.
That came after I made the decision to do
Mhm.
it. So it's like, well, I spent the money. I'm gonna try.
Yeah. She has been rolling well too. That
And then, yeah,
30
she's
that
rolling
popped
high.
up. Yeah. Yeah,
And
I was
unfortunately, it's
that
not
last time. I
contested.
was like, if this was just a couple points higher, it would have like fried your brain, or you would have been a thrall, or it would have been bad.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I learned my lesson. I was like, all right, let's try location this time.
Yeah.
Locations can't fight back.
Not usually.
Unfortunately,
Theoretically.
Akila's memory was a bit more hazy on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like that was fine because I was definitely bending stuff quite a bit to even get where we were.
Yeah,
But it was
But
worth a try.
I
It's
like
kinda cool.
creative bending of
Yeah.
of spell rules to make it work.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it was definitely a cool idea, and I think it was all logic. I was just it was definitely fine that it didn't work because, like I said, we were reaching a little bit, but it was a cool reach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think there just has to be an interesting way to combine Grim Psychometry and your scrying.
Well, hopefully we'll both live long enough to find it.
Yeah.
It would be very epic actually if Akila and Ander could really join forces in a way, like actually combine their two abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would be narratively just mwah.
Mm-hmm.
Like finally reach a common ground and be able to work in we work in unison, but like really work in unison would be cool.
Get a kilo level in Warlock.
No.
Fine.
Ander can convince
I
her,
have considered giving her a level in Cleric, though.
Mm.
Ooh,
That could work.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah, I know,
the Quirins
but-
are a church organization.
Exactly. That was kind of the thing. It's like it sort of works, especially with her sort of trying to move towards,
If
more
Ander's
into
stats-
the religion.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
sorry.
still gotta look more into giving Talia a level in Druid because I feel like
Be
Talia
It's
interesting.
become illegal.
Super illegal.
Don't do
but
it.
I
Don't
have
do it.
documentation that proves
Don't do
otherwise.
it.
So
It,
I know I might.
It's a fair. She does have a
With the
fair
level
point,
or two.
considering her her domain. If anyone
Mhm.
could hide it, it would be Tali.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
think the problem is she's a Tempest cleric, not a Nature cleric.
It's a
Okay.
There's
subdomain.
overlap. Yeah. There's overlap.
There is.
It's nature related.
Yeah.
It is. I don't disagree with that. But it's
Archilage is a nature deity.
Yes,
He's
she's
the
more than that,
boundary
but-
between nature and civilization more than he is a nature deity.
Yeah,
Leywena
well, there
is
we
a
go.
nature deity.
Well, there we go.
Well,
Yeah.
she's more of a patron deity to the elves than she is a nature deity, but that was back when they were much
That
more
was what she was
nature-centric.
originally, which is
Yeah.
that's why that druid thing works out though.
Yeah.
it is. I'm not denying that, but it's just one of those like, man, be careful picking an illegal spellcaster.
Take it from one. It's a pain in the ass.
There are
Yeah, look,
definitely what's personal quest, personal side story threads that you can pull on. Certainly.
Now, if Anders' martial related stats weren't so absolute trash,
They are.
I would consider it like a level of like paladin or something.
Mm-hmm. Warlock Paladin is a sweet combination.
Yeah.
Like I said, the thought of like a kilo Warlock and Ander taking a level Paladin.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean, the thing
my
is, it's like in
stats for
Jack's
that are
world,
just
clerics and
garbage.
warlocks have quite a bit in common.
Is there a way in this edition for paladins to get charisma as their attack stat? I know there's a way for warlocks to do it, but I think it's locked behind Hexblade. It's not a general warlock thing.
Yeah, Hexblade lets you use charisma as an attack,
Yeah.
but I don't think paladins.
I don't think if
Charisma is the casting for paladins, but I don't think they can use it for
right.
Which is but yeah, if you have a warlock paladin, that's why they're potentially strong, because you need charisma for both of them anyway.
Yeah, a paladin hexblade is crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
And then just have your patron be also your deity.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
There's no reason it couldn't work that way.
Hey, Lilir is getting trained by does potentially have training from Tanaris.
Heading that route.
He could become a paladin hexblade.
Yeah, he could.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He's gonna be able to
Pretty
beat your ass.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, talk about burst damage.
Good God. Just fuck your boss.
Yep. Yep.
Backhand the boss in one shot. Yes. Yes, Lilir, strike them down.
Unlimited power.
It's one of those where it's like, let's remember, Ander has got some protection. Lilir does not.
Yeah. Lilir's been kept under the radar. Yeah.
Regina knows about him.
Yeah, well, Andrew trusts Regina.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. My point. I know.
Yeah, and Regina didn't. It is working as the stopgap there. I don't think it's gotten past Regina.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I trusted Regina to keep that secret, which is the only reason I mentioned it. Because even in none of my meetings where I wasn't quite sure yet whether my life was on the line, did I mention that.
I'm really glad Regina's character developed the way it has, because my initial idea for the Guildmaster was drastically different, far more antagonistic.
Oh man.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm really glad
It was a
you
completely
yeah.
different NPC. Going all the way back from before we even started, my initial planning of the guild master was just going to be an absolute dick.
Well, why would we want to work with them?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like, Andrew would have been like, "Well, fuck this."
I know. It's like, you gotta give me a reason to want to stay.
I'm glad I changed that, because that doesn't work with this group. That would have worked with my last group, because they were a bunch of toxic idiots. Yeah.
Well, we're not completely toxic idiots. We're just idiots.
Yeah, I adore Regina.
Yeah, Regina's
solidly
a great
one of my
character.
favorites.
I'm a Regina is awesome.
Yeah. That's like, Aquila definitely respects Regina.
Tali looks up to Regina as a role model.
Role model for what?
Mm.
I don't know.
Just I don't know.
And I would say Andrew would
She's a
definitely
neat
take
lady.
Andrew would
Yeah,
definitely take a forward for Regina at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, that was so legitimately the major reason Andrew was so reluctant to actually come clean to Regina was not fear of her so much as fear for her. Because now you know this thing that you can't unknow and makes you technically complicit.
Yeah.
If you don't know you are safe, and I actually was like, I trust you to try and protect me, and that's dangerous for you. so that was actually his biggest holdup, was like, I don't want you to have to deal with this.
Yeah, nice.
I think I even kind of phrased it like that, was like once this is out of the bag, you now have essentially a problem.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you that problem.
Yeah, you did phrase it like that. You're like, I'll tell you, but you're probably gonna be better off if I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
would
that
really
was cool.
rather your life not be more complicated.
Yeah.
I was just looking at cleric multi-class, and I'm like, what domain would I choose for Aquila?
Well, I'm not sure how much more there is, but
Yeah, I think we've ridden this train to the end of the track here.
Yeah.
About as long as our after shows usually go, though I think we had some good conversation about the dungeon and going forward and looking back at the past. So let's end that here. On this note, I am excited to get back into the game whenever we get back to it. Hopefully next week. I'm still not sure. There's still quite a bit to this dungeon, and it's really coming together in my head and coming together on paper. So I'm looking forward to playing it out. I'm really interested to see how this room plays out with Perseces, especially now that you guys are kind of somewhat holding out hope that it doesn't immediately turn into a fight. I think that could be really cool. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm excited to get Christian back in on this. It was fun playing Sleeper for a bit. I hope I did a decent enough job. I only have so much to go on. Yeah.
You still have more to go on than we do.
Sure. Yeah. Not much, but
no, but
more. Yeah. So it'll be nice to get him back. Unfortunately, we will be losing somebody else throughout the next 4 weeks. So we'll see where we land as far as scheduling, as far as the game. Because there's some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being a supporter of our show and our channel. Again, everything you do to help us out is going to go back into expanding and improving on this channel. So if you like it, continue support. Let other people know about the channel. Bring them into at least the YouTube page or the Twitch page. Get them watching the stuff. Pressing all the like buttons and the subscription buttons, and all of those good things. So we're gonna go. I have even more prep work to do. Got quite a bit more dungeon tiles to lay out. Some things to stat up. I got some fun things planned. So we're gonna go do that. We're gonna break for the evening. I had fun with this after show. Had a ton of fun with this dungeon. Played out a lot better than I had. A lot better than I had anticipated, which is definitely a compliment.
Good session today.
Yes, very good session.
Yeah, this was a good one today.
All right. So once again, thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep having a good time, and we will catch you at some point. Thank you, and good night.
Heart tomatoes.
Heart tomatoes. Something about heart tomatoes.